Hey, everybody, listen, beneath us, we're going to have a link to the Star Wars Holiday Special. Go watch that before you watch our episode.
If you can stomach it.
Hey, we're back. This is John.
Hey, it's Paul.
And it's Eric.
And it is Christmas in July.
Woo!
Yay! I initially thought this would be really cool to do for a whole month, and then I got over that. We've been dying to do, as you can see behind me, we are going to be talking about the Star Wars Holiday Special because I hate my partners. Now, we've been talking about doing this one since December. We just kept pushing it back, so we said we'll do a Christmas in July, and maybe we'll do a few different things, but we narrowed it down to this. We have to do this just because we talk about all things Star Wars, and if we don't talk about this at some point, well, I think they revoke our geek card, right? So,
Well, I wonder how many people have actually seen this. Because if you really enjoy Star Wars, this thing is cringeworthy. You may not have seen it and probably don't like it.
right. And for everyone who already knows, who have been watching, you all know how much I love horrible shit and then making everybody else watch it. So I've been living for this thing. I love this thing. We're going to have so much fun with this. All right. So I guess without further ado, on to the special, right? Did anybody actually make any notes?
Hey, were you going to do the translation into Wookiee of that intro before we got started? Perfect.
Yeah.
It's a lot quicker. It's a lot quicker. They say a lot with so little. So did anybody take any actual notes while you were watching this thing? Because I watched it enough where I just kind of know dumb shit I want to rip on. I didn't actually make any notes. I was like, I figured Eric would have had a whole dissertation written, but I think he was about ready to kill me.
No, I just haven't been able to get away from stuff to do.
All right.
Do things like write lists, but I do have a few notes of my own from when I watched this 6 months ago. So
Yeah.
I got those up on the screen.
It is indelibly burned in my brain from the first time we watched it. And then I watched a sort of a recap online and then read a couple things. And there's a couple places of interesting stuff that I didn't know. And one of the characters I kept thinking they were calling him Drone Boy, and that's not what they're calling it. It's not the name, and so I just wanted to get it correct.
All right, so I guess a little backstory on this thing was it was made in 1978, right? Lucas was in the process of creating Empire, right? Star Wars had just come out, been a big hit. He's got Empire that he's working on, but he wanted to do something with Star Wars, and he wasn't sure what he wanted to do with it. And I guess, I don't know if it was the TV people that came to him or if he started talking to a few of them first.
No, supposedly CBS approached him with the idea, but that's disputed now, of course. But
Right. Yeah, of course. Yeah, well, yeah. That's the one I heard too. They had come to him and said, hey, why don't you do a variety show? We do a holiday special for Star Wars. And he was like, yeah, that sounds like a good idea, Meanwhile, at the time, all the variety shows like the Brady Bunch, Variety Hour, all those other ones were on the decline. Like they were on their last seasons. They were not being watched anymore. So he really caught this thing in his prime, so to speak. So yeah, it's directed by Steve Binder and David Akumba, and they had a bunch of writers in there that came after. Lucas really almost had nothing to do with this thing, really.
Yeah, I think it was between ESB and moving Lucasfilm in California. I don't think he did much on this thing. Although conceptually, though, it was based on an idea of his, is my understanding. He wanted to do a special show just about Wookiees, like a full-on Wookiee story, and they sort of borrowed that concept when they made this variety show.
That's what he told me. He's like, I'd like you to do it there because I always wanted to do, or I've wanted to do this, but it's not going to fit right now, so do it there.
And according to what Bender has said in interviews, he didn't even really talk to Lucas. He just got this Wookiee Bible from him that told him like how the Wookiees were supposed to look and act and everything, and that's all he had to go on. But he picked it up like halfway through the production because Akumba left, disagreements with the producers or whatever. Right? So
it feels like there was some sort of meeting. They called Lucas. They said, "Hey, we're from CBS. We want to do a Star Wars special." And he was like, "No." And they were like, "Well, here's a bunch of money." And he said, "All right, I'm busy. I'm busy. Here's the Star Wars stuff." And CBS was like, "Here, you variety guys, do something with this." And they were like, "Okay."
Hold
and that's
this.
what you get.
Yeah.
They handed the Star Wars characters and universe to a bunch of sort of TV variety show guys that were on their way out who had no idea what they're looking at.
Right.
And we're like, well, we'll just hire Harvey Korman and B. Arthur and, this should be fun.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so it's got all the main cast from the original movie, right? You got Luke Skywalker, Han Solo, Chewbacca, Princess Leia, C-3PO and R2-D2, Darth Vader, a bunch of stormtroopers. And then you've got, like you said, B. Arthur, Art Carney, Diane Carroll, right? There's a Harvey Korman.
Yep.
Right? Yeah, I said that right. Okay. I had to make sure I got that one right. Because he plays 3 different characters in this, and we'll get to them in a little bit. But, yeah, 3. And, yeah, this was... So it's set on the Wookiee home planet of Kashyyyk. Is that how it's pronounced?
Kashyyyk.
Kashyyyk. And it starts off... Well, first it starts off with some shots of the Falcon flying through space, right? And it's Han and Chewie.
They're being chased by a couple Star Destroyers.
Yeah.
In what looks like the ultimate sort of dollar store version of the inside of the Millennium Falcon.
Yes, and
it looks like stock
footage.
Right. It looks like they took put them in a little tiny room with some vaguely sci-fi stuff around them, and 2 like car seats, and we're like, all right, go like this so it looks like you're, flying into space.
Is this what it looked like? And Harrison Ford is so not giving a fuck. He's just like, yeah, okay, sure. Yeah. You could already see he was like,
and it's
here we go.
And the whole thing revolves around him trying to get Chewie back for Life Day.
For Life Day, yes. So Life Day is a Wookiee celebration, right? Similar to Christmas. It's supposed to be a Wookiee celebration. I guess you expand on that later on with The Mandalorian, where there's another species. So I guess there are other species that do celebrate Life Day. But when they first made this thing, at this time, it was supposed to be a Wookiee thing that happened like every 3 years or so. So, according to some of the shit I read, because I dove a little too deep into this shit. I did a little more homework than you two. It's funny because within the span of 1 minute and 23 seconds, Han goes from, trying to fly away from these Star Destroyers and get shot at, and he's like, that's it, I'm turning around. And then Chewie's all, ooh, and he's like, all right, like fuck it. But then his whole attitude changes to like, don't worry, I'm gonna get you home, pal. You haven't missed a Life Day yet. You're not gonna miss this one. You would just get ready to run.
Right. You were just about to shit on Life Day.
And now it's really important. Okay. Again, I guess it's, let the Wookiee win, right? So then it cuts to the logo, the Star Wars holiday thing, right? And they do the whole variety hour intro where it's like, the Star Wars holiday special starring Mark Hamill. Yeah, they do the whole thing, and they see the little like the cut-ins, they cut in on Harrison Ford, and he wouldn't even look at the fucking camera. Finally, like he glances and winks at it, and he's just like, "This is what I'm getting paid to do right here. Fuck you." Not even trying.
Right.
So then they cut to like a matte painting of Chewbacca's house. Like it's clearly a painting.
Yeah.
And they kind of zoom in, and then they cut to the first scene. And please, someone go ahead, take it, or add to whatever I just said.
So I think at some point, I'm not sure if this is the place where Mark Hamill does his cameo. Where
it's a little bit later down, yeah.
Yeah, it's just a little bit into this, yeah.
Yeah.
Where like Mala's in the kitchen doing something, and Lumpy, who is Chewbacca's son, and Itchy, who is I don't know why he's Itchy and Lumpy, and Mala has like a more regular name.
We can get into that in a second.
But they're in the living room / kitchen doing some stuff, and there begins this, I don't know, way too long scene of Wookiee home life where, I don't know, Lumpy's trying to teach, Itchy's trying to teach Lumpy something, and they're having a back and forth, and
he's carving an X-wing, and Lumpy's trying to play around him and pissing him off.
And Mal is in the kitchen doing something, and they're all, but there's no subtitles. It's all just in.
It was a very, very weird choice.
Yeah.
Where you have no subtitles whatsoever, and you just have a bunch of Wookiees just.
And they're all just waving their arms and trying to, gesture at what they're reacting to, and it goes on for, it seems like forever.
It is.
I don't know how many minutes it actually is, but it's
a good few minutes.
It's long enough that you're like, what's happening here? And it gets great. It starts to be grating because Lumpy's got this like pre-pubescent Wookiee voice, I guess, and so he's like at this weird pitch, and then Lumpy's like a older guy. It's just, you're just like, what? I don't understand what's happening here.
So I'm looking at the film.
Why would you not subtitle that?
I'm looking at the film roll. It starts right around 4 minutes. They don't contact Luke, which is the first time you hear a human talking English, until 12 minutes in.
Wow. 8 minutes.
Yes, there you go.
8 minutes. So this was on CBS. It aired just before Thanksgiving at 8:00, right? There is no more valuable piece of television real estate in 1978 than that right there. And they spent 8 minutes of it speaking in Wookiee.
Yes. And mind you, every copy you find of this, am I coming in clear? Because I'm popping on my end. Okay. Every copy you see of this, it starts with the there's a really good copy you can find on YouTube from Ohio, and it starts with the Wonder Woman and the Incredible Hulk scene tonight.
Right.
I'm like, so you skipped an episode of Wonder Woman in her hot little thing and the fucking Incredible Hulk for this,
which were big hits at the time too. By
yes, huge hits.
Yeah.
I'm looking for their real names, so keep talking for a second.
Whose real names?
They actually fleshed out the Wookiees' names later on. And it was on here a second ago. Let me see if I can just...
They do the 8 minutes of Wookiee, and then I don't know if they get a call from Luke or Mala calls him, but Mark Hamill appears on the screen with his hair really short.
Yeah, he doesn't look the same for sure.
And like a ton of makeup on.
More makeup than an OBT hooker.
Yeah.
And this was right after his accident, which is why he had all that makeup on.
She calls him. She has this like old school Commodore 64 looking computer, and she hits a bunch of things, and then it says, "You have reached traffic control." like on a yellow screen. It looks really cheesy.
Well, that was the first thing, because she was looking to see if she could find the Millennium Falcon on our planet yet.
Yeah.
And said no starships in sector.
Yeah.
So then she cuts to it's behind the entertainment center or the mantle. There's a door, and then she slides the door back, and she's got a secret computer. But here, yeah. All right, ready? So it was explained later on that their names are actually nicknames, just like Chewie. They call him Chewie. So Mala is actually Malatabuk. Sure. Itchy is Atchtikuk, which might come in handy later on. And then Lumpy is Lumpo-Rump.
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 That makes slightly more sense.
Atchtikuk. I got something for that later. So they slide the thing back, and she radios Luke to try to find word on Han and Chewie. And like I said, like you guys said, Luke has got like this fucking makeup, like move, like he's on Broadway. And he's sitting with R2-D2 and like his workshop trying to work on something. I think it's supposed to be, according to the Wikipedia shit, it's supposed to be like he's working on his X-wing, but that wasn't a fucking X-wing at all. It was just like, and maybe it was a part of something, but it keeps smoking because R2-D2 don't give a fuck.
Yeah. It's super because R2-D2 like does something. There's a little shock, and then smoke starts pouring out, and then Luke immediately grabs like a wrench and start like, what the hell is that gonna do?
Right. He just grabbed some pliers and like, I'm gonna fix my X-wing with some pliers.
Yeah. So he automatically he's got the right tool, so it holds down just long enough. And he's like, "Oh well, Han and Chewie." Because at first he's concerned, like, "Well, bring Chewie to the screen. I want to say hi," because he doesn't speak Wookiee. And they're trying to tell him, like, "No, he ain't fucking here." So everything you've got with these Wookiees, you have to get through pantomime. And he gets the message, and he's like, "Well, Han and Chewie." They probably stopped off somewhere. And like basically, he was like, "They're supposed to be coming for this really important once a 3-year holiday, and they stopped off for a pint somewhere." You know them; they'll be around. Don't worry about them. No big deal. Don't be concerned. And he says, "Now you don't want Chewie to see sad faces when he gets there. Come on, smile." It's all creepy as shit. He's like, "Come on, smile," and. The fucking Wookiee doesn't do anything. She just kind of, because the mask can't smile. And I'm like, you kind of see like the person decided trying to make it do something. It's just like, I'm like, okay, I'll do.
Come on, Mala, let's see a little smile. Come on. There, that's better.
It looks like, fuck
Try to enjoy your life.
This thing's smoking again. I gotta get back over here. Good luck, bitch.
Right. You got me for one scene in this thing.
Yeah. Gotta go take another Percocet. My face hurts.
Yeah. And they constantly get. I think this is the point where Art Carney comes in and is like trying to help them out because the Empire's cracking down, and they send.
Oh no, not yet. They do the trading post scene before that.
Yes, he's in his trading post, and an extra from Spaceballs.
Yeah, what is up with that fucking helmet?
The helmet is gigantic, but just to show you, I went like uber geek here for a second, and I was like, he's like one of the Death Star controllers, right?
Yeah.
Just like without the front mask on. I'm like, what the fuck is he doing there? He's not supposed to be there.
And he's in Kashyyyk.
He's on Kashyyyk. I'm like, you don't even belong there. So I went like uber geek there for a minute. I got pissed off that he was there.
Also, you're dead, so.
Well, right? Yeah. Oh, that'll come into play again multiple times throughout the special. So he's in there, and Art Carney's trying to just cover for himself and talk to him about whatever. And
trying to sell him some dumb stuff like tiny little beta fish tank things.
Yeah, teeny tiny, the world's smallest, like it's a microfish tank, commercial fish tank. And then dude is sitting there with the biggest porn stash in the world.
But no, there's a point at which I don't know if it's Art Carney shows up with gifts, right? And then
that's after this scene. That's after this scene. Got it. Because Mala calls him while the
guy is there.
Death Star guy is there, and he's trying to have like a cryptic conversation with her.
Oh, that's right.
Which is one of my favorite things because he actually plays it off really funny. Go ahead, Eric.
No, go ahead.
Remember what he says?
No, I don't.
He says, "I bet you're looking for that large living room carpet I promised you."
I know just why you're calling. You're wondering when that shaggy carpet you ordered will arrive at your home.
Trust me, it's on its way. He goes, it was made by this really nice lady on whatever. He goes, she made it all by herself. You might want to, you might even say it was made by hand, solo. Yeah. And he all but like, like he's coming. So I guess so. He's like letting her know that he knows Han and Chewie are on the way. And then I think they cut back to the house, and it's the Itchy and Lumpy are in the living room again.
Well, no, she does this is where Mala.
You're skipping another part. You're still skipping.
Mala watches the first Harvey Korman cooking show.
That one, Eric, or something different?
No, something different. So after he sells the Death Star guy like a Swiss Army toothbrush or something ridiculous like that.
Yeah, some
They
really
cut to the Death Star, and it's the first time you see Vader in this special. They're like walking down the hallway.
Right. Yeah. And what the fuck are they walking down? They blew up the Death Star.
I think they're on a I think they're on a Star Destroyer.
Okay, touche.
Yeah,
So
I'm pretty sure they're on a Star Destroyer. I'm pretty sure it's the same two Star Destroyers that were chasing Han and Chewie. Because they talk something about trying to find the rebel scum or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't remember what it is. And then it goes to what you guys were talking about, where they cut back to the house and go ahead, Paul. She starts watching the cooking show. And
She's trying to make dinner or something.
And show, or is it the hologram first?
It's the first is the cooking show.
I think it's a cooking show first. I'm pretty sure.
Sure, we'll go with that.
Yeah,
doesn't really matter.
Then,
what order
we have to make sure we get this chronologically correct.
It's Harvey Korman as Gourmanda, the cooking show, and he makes like
she's like a purple-faced Julia Child.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a bantha roast or something.
Yeah,
a bantha loin.
Yeah.
Because then she whatever saw a lot of the sponsors was left. Says, if you don't like the loin, you can also go for the lovely rump. So right there, he's got a dick and ass joke.
And it's supposed to be funny, and it just isn't.
No.
And it's another scene that's way too drawn out too.
Yeah.
It's really drawn out, and the whole joke is she's watching this because it's supposed to be like a Julia Child type of cooking show, and she's going to learn how to make this meal for when Chewbacca gets there. And so she's following along with the thing, and she does the whole, like, first we swish, swish, swish.
Stir, 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 whip, whip, whip.
Stir, stir, whip, 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 stir, whip. So then we stir, whip, 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 stir, and she's got a sequence. And Marlo's there with two hands doing it, and then a third fucking hand comes out. So now the thing's got three hands, and then we mash, and Marlo's over there trying to do everything. This fucking stupid shit. So it turns out the thing's got four hands, four arms. They're, and it's Harvey Korman trying to do his best with this bit.
Yeah.
And he's having fun, I think. I don't know. But it was at this point that I realized that the cocaine was flowing freely around this place. I don't think any of them really remember filming any of this fucking thing.
So in the Wikipedia entry about the holiday special, under the section of critical response, it says, Nathan, Rabin, sorry if I'm butchering your name, of the AV Club wrote, I'm not convinced the special wasn't ultimately written and directed by a sentient bag of cocaine.
Just like she can't keep up with this thing, and then she just kind of like picks it up. She shuts the thing off, picks it up, and moves it off set. Here you go. Go ahead, Eric.
Are you good with the cooking show thing? I don't want to steal any of that enjoyment from you.
Oh, I don't know. I think we've beaten it to death already. Go ahead.
Yeah, she's cooking. I think she's cooking in like a metal pail too, like.
Yeah, it looks like
a metal pail, like you'd wash clothes in 1940. Yeah. So after that, I think they cut back to the Falcon again, and there's a space battle scene where I think they might have borrowed some stuff from A New Hope, where they're fighting the TIE fighters or whatever.
Yeah. The radar screen for the guns is there. The gun shooting is there, blowing up one, which in Star Wars actually had to have a gunner, and now they're just on autopilot.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Far more accurate than when Luke and Han was shooting in Star Wars. It took way less time to blow that fucker up.
And then we don't really get to see what happens there, except they blew up a couple ships, and then it cuts away. And this is where we get back to what Paul was going for, I think, which was the guy comes with the gifts, right?
Yeah. Art Carney comes in with the gifts, and then we have the most awkward, what I think is the most awkward scene, where he's explaining what the Holoviewer is, and he gets, it looks like an old hair dryer, right?
Oh no! This before that is the Acrobat hologram, that lumpy.
Oh, is that
one.
right?
Yeah, it's before that. The Acrobats are before that one. I remember. I just watched this last night.
Okay.
I hate myself.
I don't remember which is which order, but yeah, there's three different things, right? There's the
yes. So in the variety show interest, they got a bunch of acrobats dressed up as aliens, and it's the same hollow thing that Chewie plays on the Falcon, right? But Lumpy puts a disc in this old tape thing in the thing, and it's clearly an old tape deck cassette thing that he presses the buttons on. Right? It's clear. There's like two of them, one on either side at the camera that you can see, and he fucking pushes down like the play button. So the thing starts, and it's like this little, like they come in from like off screen, so like it's just a hologram, but they do all these little acrobats,
They
whatever. He
juggle.
watches, and he, hang on, this guy. Where's my? Oh, it's over here. Yeah, this.
Yeah.
Here you go.
Yeah.
An abomination watching an abomination.
So then it gets into the hair dryer porn thing, right? That's the
After this, then you get into Art Carney brings, I forget what the hell his name is in this thing. Hang on.
It's like Son or something.
Son Dan.
Yeah.
Son Dan. So he brings a bunch of gifts for everybody. Gives the kid something. The kid runs off to play with it. Brings the wife something. She carries it off, and he literally does this whole like. First, he makes the kid and the wife kiss him, right? So like they have a Me Too movement too. He's like, "Come here, what do I get?" And she kisses his cheek, and he gives her a gift. And he tells Lumpy, come over here. It's called the mind evaporator. Is the thing he's gonna sit in, and like you said, it looks like an old '70s hair dryer at a salon. And he sits a minute, and he's like,
"Wow, yeah."
He goes, How can I say this? Wow. He goes, and happy life day. And I mean happy life day. And so it was like no question when you got into this thing that it was going to be something weird. Yeah. And go ahead, please, somebody describe this thing.
So it's like a hologram for him, but up comes Diane Carroll, who's a 70s singer. And she's in this sort of sparkly, I don't know.
She's dressed like the sorceress from He-Man.
Yeah. And the whole thing's really sort of glowy and whatever, but she's like, "Oh, I feel I feel the creation," or something like that. Like it's about as graphic as 1978 8 p.m. on CBS would allow. And
they admitted it. They said they wanted to go as softcore porn that they can get away with past the censors, and they did. They did. And and she's like, it's like the predecessor to ASMR. She's like whispering and moaning.
But then you go back to the scene where he's in the thing, and he's like, and he's got this weird like overbite thing, so he's always like,
excited, aren't we?
He's like gross.
Just relax. Just relax. Yeah. A little more. Now, we can have a good time, can't we?
Oh.
I'll tell you a secret. I find you adorable. I'll tell you a secret. I find you adorable. I find you adorable.
And he's rewinding it. He's rewinding it, making it play again, rewinding it, making it play again. And you watch her skip and come back. I find you adorable. I find you adorable. And he's all, and he shudders at one point.
Yeah.
And you're like,
however Wookiees whack it, like that's what he's doing.
Yeah. That was my line earlier. His full name was like a touch of cock.
Yeah.
And his grandson's like right in the other room.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's out in the open. There's like no doors in this thing at all.
Yeah, he's in the middle of the fucking living room, just whacking it to Diane Carroll.
Listen, Itchy's seen some stuff. It doesn't matter. He's got nothing to hide.
Yeah, he sees some shit, man. So after he gets done shooting his little Wookiee seed all over the place,
I think that's when when Mala contacts 3PO and Leia.
Yes,
on the little holographic thing again.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
I know that's what happens next, because then they hear the ship outside and they think it's Han and Chewie coming in, and it turns out to be
they fly past.
Yeah. Well, it turns out to be Imperials though outside, like they're going to search the place, right?
Yeah, because they know that there's a rebel somewhere near the planet or around the planet, and they're looking for him.
And once again here, they have another one of those Death Star worker guys with the weird long helmet. Like, why are you here, dude?
Well, here's another catch, and this is not the last time this happens. The Imperial officer in the gray that walks in is in the first movie on the fucking Death Star.
Oh, is it really?
He died on the Death Star, and now he's here. So maybe Kashyyyk is like purgatory or some shit. I don't know. It was like a weird portal. But yeah, he was in Star Wars, and he died.
Oh, I think it's more hell than
like
purgatory.
99.8.
Yeah, it's for sure hell.
Yeah, oh, it's hell. Yeah, it's not purgatory. Hell. But yeah, I'm 99.8% sure that it's the same guy. He was on the fucking Death Star. But we'll revisit that later too.
All right, so they're coming to search the house to see if they can find any evidence of the rebel. You know what? Actually, this is where the acrobat thing happens because they see that device on the table and they want to search it, and Mala's trying to like hold it back from them. And then
you're right.
Son or whatever is like, oh, let him see it. He starts taking it apart and showing it to the guy with the Death Star helmet.
You're right.
And then they go through that whole weird acrobat scene. With
No. Okay, no. You're thinking when Art Carney, Son, whatever, he shows that thing to him.
Yeah.
Delegate. Now, here's also too for some of you kids out there. Art Carney played a character, Ed Norton, in The Honeymooners, and he goes full blown Norton in this thing where he was very eccentric, right? Where he's trying to get this thing set up, and he's doing all this thing.
Yeah.
He literally stands up like his buddy Cramden in the show and was like, "Will you get on with it?" It was a bit they did in the show all the time. So it was definitely like a nod.
Yeah. It's not the acrobat part though. This is the music video.
It's Jefferson Starship.
Yeah.
Jefferson Starship.
Yeah.
With some crazy psychedelic LSD lights like through the whole damn thing.
Yeah, the microphone is lit up like a lightsaber.
It's like a full music video.
Guitar. Yeah, they do a full blown music number. Like forever too. I forget what song they played, but it was really fucking long. It takes forever to get through this fucking thing. I skipped through it. I was like, fine. Like I watched it the first fucking time, then after that, when I watched this thing last night, I skipped right through it. I knew nothing. But yeah, so they do that shit. What was I gonna say? Oh, doesn't matter. Go on.
Oh, and then they the stormtroopers keep searching the house. Lumpy goes to his bedroom, and then they show the cartoon, the Boba Fett cartoon.
Yeah, the officer or whatever tells Mala like keep him busy or something. So then she puts him like in front of the little TV, and by the way, there's no like Arabic script or whatever in this. It's just like random weird symbols when they have to write stuff out, you know?
Yeah, there's a lot of examples like that, and like the dead Death Star guy and a few other things that happened that I'll point out that you can clearly see these guys that made the variety shows didn't pay attention to Star Wars at all. Like at all.
Yeah.
Like I can see missing the Death Star dude dying because they're all just the same, whatever, fine. But some of the other shit is really bad. Like this shit, like the I almost said Arabic. Sure, Arabic.
I think it's called Arabesh, but I'm not
Arabesh. That'll work.
But like, think about, I mean, you've got in 1978, Star Wars was a hit, but it wasn't, there was one movie.
It wasn't a culture. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And to guys that are probably in their late 50s, TV variety show creators, like this is not their world. Like what they're like, throw the little silly, letters up there.
Yeah, give me all the costumes I can get, and that comes into play later.
So the cartoon is probably the only pseudo redeeming thing like in the entire special, and I'm not saying it's good. It's just the best part there is, and it introduces Boba Fett apparently for the first time because we didn't see him in A New Hope. So
retroactively he was placed into A New Hope, but if you go on with this timeline, when this was made, this is the first time you see Boba Fett. The only other time he was associated with anything Star Wars was a parade. You remember, Paul? You and I talked about this, I think, one time. He was in a parade walking with Vader, and I think he had more of a color scheme like the cartoon, and then later they changed it for Empire. So yeah.
Stylistically, I don't know who made this, but these cartoon characters are freaking bizarre. They got long faces. Their eyes are too close together. I don't know. They have weird jaw lines and things. They look strange as fuck.
It
Yeah.
looks like it was drawn by somebody who was high.
Do you remember Heavy Metal?
No,
Cartoon Heavy Metal?
that was on. Was that on MTV? I don't even remember that.
Yeah, it was a cartoon Heavy Metal. But yeah, there's Boba Fett. Not quite the same as the movie, but we're getting there.
In khakis.
Yeah, in khakis. And he's got like a third eye thing going on the helmet there that you can't really see there. But yeah. And he's riding this big pink fucking lizard dragon thing. Again, looking like something out of He-Man. But yeah, so he pretends to be friends and he knows their names, right? So basically the whole cartoon is like a thing where Luke and C-3PO try to go find Han and Chewie because something's going on. I fucking don't know. Han gets some sleeping sickness or some weird shit like that, whatever.
Yeah.
But here's the weird thing. All right. Lumpy is watching this fucking cartoon about a rebel mission that happened, right? So it's like there's something that actually happened that the rebellion like stopped the rebellion in order to make a cartoon because it's like it's their voices, it's clearly their voices. So they stopped. They got them to do the voices and then whatever. But so they stopped fighting long enough to make a cartoon. It was just really weird, like that he's watching this cartoon about the rebellion that's currently happening. Like you just giving away shit about missions and stuff. It was kind of weird. But
yeah, there's some other strange things in this. When they crash land on that planet, the front of the Y-wing disconnects and it's like a fucking speedboat. It's like going.
Well, let's talk about the fact that they landed in pizza sauce.
Yeah. That's true. That's true.
When the Falcon first lands, it literally goes. What the fuck was that? But yeah, same thing. They go, and you can clearly, like, you can tell Boba Fett's a bad guy because he's like beating the hell out of his dragon thing with his blaster, and he's pretending to be good. And C-3PO is like, is it really smart to trust him? And Luke's like, sure. What could possibly fucking go wrong?
Yeah, what could go wrong?
No, it's not even a proper blaster. It's like it's got the prongs on the front, like what we've seen in The Mandalorian, except there's no gun part. It's just that because he shoots one of the dinosaur-looking things with it, and it like shoots out electricity and shocks it and it runs away.
It's like a cattle prod.
Yeah. So it's definitely Favreau made one of his many good tweaks to this side of things in The Mandalorian. But yeah, the Amando's gun is a nod to this freaking weapon behind me. This fucking cattle prod looking like the Mountie from the 80s WWF.
And then the Falcon crash lands. I don't know if it's on the same planet or a different planet. I forget, but it has inflatable buoys on the bottom of it that like deploy.
Well, so does the Y-wing.
Oh yeah, it's a like circle ball. Yeah,
it looks like
the Y-wing outfitted with a flotation device.
Yeah. So the whole fucking thing is really weird, and I forget exactly how the hell this shit goes down because I was only half paying attention. But basically, like, they find out about Boba Fett because he signals back to Darth Vader that he's found them or whatever, and so they realize he's bad and they get away. Fine. So that's the first time you ever see Boba Fett, and he still does really nothing in this cartoon that makes his reputation any better at all. So then what do? We cut away from the cartoon, and they're still searching the house, right?
Yeah, Lumpy's working on a device that would fool them into thinking that they hear a commander's voice, right?
Yes, well, because right before that, though, one of the biggest fuck you moments of the whole damn show that makes you feel bad for a second is one of the stormtroopers just in a complete asshole move, like rips the head off of this kid's stuffed animal. Yeah. He had a stuffed manta, and he rips the fucking head off. And you're like, you asshole. Yeah. Then it cuts to Lumpy looking as sad as he possibly can with his mask, and you're like, never mind, I don't feel bad anymore.
So he's got like his at-home electronics kit, and he's working on this thing, but he's got to watch the intro video.
Yeah.
Which is Harvey Korman showing you how this thing works.
In his second role.
Right.
And he's an android.
He's Dromboid, Dromboid, and I kept thinking that they were calling him Drone Boy. but it's Dromboid, and he's explaining to you how this works, but he's an android, and so sometimes he just stops.
Yeah.
Or slows way down.
And will assemble our mini transmitters.
Yeah.
And again, you're on primetime television. This is not funny.
Yeah, it was horrible.
Yeah.
I mean, you almost see what they kept going for, and they kept missing it.
It's close, right?
Yeah, like he tries, and again, like I said, like he's giving it his all, so he had to be high. He's like, "Fuck it, let's just do this." So, which also I thought of last night gave me a side note. It gave me a lot more respect for Anakin as a child in Phantom Menace, which I never thought I'd say. But he built C-3PO from scratch, and Lumpy is fucking following
Right.
this goddamn android. Hey, this kid did this years ago, and you can't fucking put this thing together? Come on. Built the whole fucking droid, damn it. But yeah, so he sends a signal downstairs, right?
Finally after the cringeworthy video of Harvey Korman as Dromboid, yes, he makes it sound like their voice, like, we gotta go, let's go.
Yeah. Oh well, they make him watch. It's in the Imperial video.
Yeah,
right?
there's a video that pops up first. It's like an announcement. It says like, this is required viewing for all Imperial forces or something like that. And then it goes to this weird bar scene with B. Arthur at the Mos Eisley Cantina.
Yeah, this is what blew my mind. This is required video, right? So is it pre-recorded or is it a live stream? Whatever, it don't matter. Either way, you're watching a video. So now I'm watching these characters watch a video. And then as they're watching this video, it's the Mos Eisley Cantina, and B. Arthur plays the actual owner, the proprietor, right? Somewhere within that thing, somewhere within that thing, they get a video. We're like 3 or 4 levels deep in Inception.
Yeah.
In fucking videos. But yeah, so it cuts to the Mos Eisley Cantina before he pulls the trigger on that little machine to make the announcement. Because they do the whole B. Arthur scene. And
she sings a song. What's the song? She sings a song about how they have to go home or something.
Yes.
Last call.
Okay, so she's
eventually, yeah.
Well, this is the third Harvey Korman scene.
Yeah.
She's the owner. She's walking around talking to the bouncer and whoever, and her couple of regulars. And she's like, come on, drink up. I thought, I treat you better than this. Drink up. Give me money. And then Harvey Korman.
She's like a really pushy bartender.
Yeah, well, she's the owner. She knows her regulars. Come on. So Harvey Korman's character walks in, and at first you don't know what the fuck he's doing. He's just got this weird gray hair, right? It's like up here. And he walks in, and apparently he's in love with her. And he brings her a flower, and he's trying to flirt with her, and she doesn't really pay attention to him at all. And she pours him a drink, and he pours the fucking drink into his head.
Yeah.
I'll be waiting.
So he drinks through his head, but talks through his mouth. Whatever. Sure. Pours it in his fucking head. Maybe a little smoke comes out. Whatever the fuck happens. But then they play the video, and it's Tatooine is going on lockdown, so everyone's got to go the fuck home. Martial law. They declare martial law, and everyone's got to go the fuck home. So she's trying to get everybody the hell out of there, go the fuck home, and they start like rioting less than America because they just start like banging their glasses on the table, and
he's like professing his love for her, and she's just like, whatever.
She doesn't, whatever.
And it's super awkward because he's like, she's just trying to be a bartender and be friendly because that's what bartenders do, and he's like, oh, but I love you.
Yeah, well, because he says, someone said these 6 words, and he holds up his hands, he has 6 fingers.
Yeah.
So apparently he was in Princess Bride too. So he holds up his hands, he has 6 fingers. He's like, come back and see me anytime, whatever. However, good night, come back and see me. Yeah. I'll be waiting. Whatever the fuck B. Arthur's character said, and he took it as she likes him, so he was coming back to profess his love to her, give her a flower and all this other shit.
And it's super awkward.
It's really awkward because she's just like, whatever. You gotta get on the side of the bar and sit there and drink. And she gives him a bunch of drinks. So the whole bar is like getting rambunctious because, you know, they're ignoring the curfew because it's a wretched hive of scum and villainy.
Yeah.
Not to mention it's Outer Rim territory and it's hut controlled. Why the fuck do they do anything the Galactic Empire says?
Right? Why the fuck do they care? So there's maybe 5 stormtroopers on that planet. So she keeps telling them we got to shut down. She's like, fine, one last call. And then she's like, it's on the house. And she starts to sing her song. And it's to a slowed down version of the Mos Eisley Cantina theme song. They start to play really slow. Doot, 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 and she starts singing about, like, you know, it's the end, friend, go.
Yeah.
And she's rhyming. White girl, 1970s rhyme. I don't know. She's just rhyming every other line, like, you know, and it's wow, it's bad. But while she's singing, she's walking around talking to people. She's calling them by random names. Like, I think she was just making them up as she went, you know, because it's probably not in the script. But this goes back to what I said earlier about these people not paying attention to the movie at all, because fucking Greedo is sitting there. Drinking. She calls him something else, so sure, but it's the same exact character, same clothes. And then she walks around the corner and she's like singing and dancing, and when she turns around to go dance, she's dancing with Panda Baba, who's got both arms. So, like, what the fuck just happened? It's like none of this, like, it's supposed to all be canon, and yeah, they didn't pay attention to shit. So yeah, good. That was the point I wanted to make, that they didn't pay attention to nothing, because, like, all these dead characters keep showing up in this fucking thing.
Yeah, not exactly related, but B. Arthur did an interview a while after this with I don't know, that paper in Portland or something, but she was talking about how she had so much fun doing this scene or whatever, but she didn't know it had anything to do with Star Wars. Like, she had no idea. She was just, you know, she was just hired to, like, do a thing on a variety show, a part or whatever. It was a skit. She really had no idea what it was for.
Wow. That's fucking awesome. And it shows.
Yeah, clearly she didn't see the movie.
I guess during the time she was playing.
The writers must have said the same thing. Like, we had no idea what Star Wars was.
They handed us a thing and we put it to the side. We don't know. But yeah, because I got the time she was on the show Maude or whatever. So she was essentially just that character at the bar. Yeah. It's just like she wasn't even, like, trying to be anybody else. But yeah, so they all leave, right? They all get out. And then the last thing you see before the video shuts off is fucking Harvey Korman's character pops up behind the bar.
Behind the bar, yeah.
While she's gotten everybody, including the bodyguard, out and locked the door, and he's behind the bar. I'm like, you might want to keep watching that video. Something bad just happened. So then Lumpy has so then Lumpy has success in sending the fake signal for all the troops to come back, right? The officer, though, has, like, a walkie-talkie with, like, the most ridiculously long antenna. It's like, yeah. He pulls it all the way up just to go, understood and will comply, whatever the fuck he says. Message received and obeyed.
Yeah, we have ships that are capable of hyperspeed and going into hyperspace, but we have to have a giant antenna for our communication devices.
Same fucking walkie-talkies we had as kids. That's what he had.
So they leave one stormtrooper behind, I think.
Yep.
When they leave, and then that stormtrooper goes upstairs, like, right away, and he sees that.
Yeah, because the whole deal is they know, I guess, through a census. Wookiees take censuses now, and they know there's 4 in there, and like, there's another male Wookiee. Where the fuck is he? They've been doing that the whole time. So they're like, you stay behind and wait for the other guy to get back home, because, you know, we're pretty sure he's one of the they say he could be one of the rebels. So yeah, so he goes back up to the kids' room.
And breaks his machine.
Finds the machine, because the machine is still going.
Yep.
Which is really weird, but whatever. He hears it, goes upstairs, breaks the machine. Lumpy runs away all scared. And but it was right after Lumpy, like, puts the bantha thing in the bed and kisses it like sorry, you're all fucked up, love you. Like, what the fuck? So weird. All these little things, the little touches they put in there were, like, almost like, aw. And then you're like, what the fuck am I watching?
So then the stormtrooper smashes his thing and starts chasing him, and Lumpy runs outside, right? And then finally Chewbacca shows up
Yeah,
right at the
Chewbacca's
right
there.
moment.
Yeah.
And he's hollering at the stormtrooper.
Yeah,
Flip him over the.
I think
Yeah,
it's
the
Blow him
stormtrooper
off the railing or something.
It's Han that does that. So
Yeah.
Chewie confronts the guy, and he's trying to like protect Lumpy or whatever, and I guess he doesn't care about the bowcaster on his back. I don't know what's going on. But then Han Solo's like around the corner, and he like sneaks up and he whacks the stormtrooper's gun and knocks it on the ground.
Yeah.
His blaster, I mean, knocks it on the ground, and then they're both looking at the blaster like, who's gonna go first? And then the stormtrooper goes for it, and Han trips him or something. And
No, he
falls
trips over a
the
pile
river.
of wood.
Oh, is that what it is? Pile
Is
of
that
wood?
right?
Yeah, like they both
Remember.
go for it, but Han stops, and the stormtrooper trips over a pile of fucking wood, goes clear through the fucking railing. So we're gonna have to have a conversation with Chewbacca about the structure,
Yeah.
structural integrity of his house, because not like 20 minutes before, his kid was walking along that same railing, like just do. So yeah. So yeah, he goes, and that's when you get your Wilhelm scream. He goes, ah! Because at this point they weren't owned by Disney, so they didn't have the rights to whoa, whatever the fuck Goofy says, because that would have been a lot more appropriate. Yeah, so he falls to his death, and
There's a bit of dialogue. I don't remember what is said, but Han says something to
his
him.
whole family, that he loves him like his own family.
Yeah, and then you go back to another.
But he doesn't have a family. Like that's the
Yeah,
whole.
he doesn't have a family. And it goes back to yet another too drawn out bunch of Wookiee noise, like family reunion thing. And like Mala and Chewbacca are like in each other's face and they're looking at each other longingly. I guess I don't know. You can't get much out of the mask, but
Which was really weird because if you look through, and I'm going to make sure I'm right on this one. Hang on. Yes, Mala is played by Mickey Morton, the same guy who played the bodyguard in the Most Likely Cantina. It makes it even weirder.
that's funny.
Oh shit! All right, so yeah, so there's that.
All right, so a few minutes of more raw and weird looks at each other. Sorry, I can't make that noise. But then there's a banging on the door, and they think it's more Imperials or something because Chewie goes to the door with his bowcaster out. Turns out to be Art Carney's character again, Son. That's the name, right?
Sound. Yeah.
Son. Turns out to be Son again, though. I don't remember what he came back for. Just to say hello and welcome back.
Maybe he was hoping Chewbacca could give him a kiss. I don't know. Yeah, but he shakes Chewie's hand. And
Yeah, I really don't remember.
I don't know.
He was
It's weird.
welfare check. Yeah, just checking on him.
But
Yeah.
then
In any
they
case-
start radioing looking for the stormtrooper. Remember? They're like, Trooper BN.
Yeah.
Yeah,
1142,
check in. Yeah.
whatever. Yeah, check in. So he goes up and he puts his ID in the thing and he's like, hey, yeah, you guys left out of here, but they left one trooper behind, and he stole a bunch of food and robbed me blind and headed for the hills. And they just go, okay, thanks.
All right.
We'll go find him.
We have two-way communication, Trader Sondan. Is this a report about the missing trooper?
It is, sir. Trooper B4711 was here with 3 other men. They left and he remained. As soon as they had gone, he packed a lot of food from this house and he robbed me blind. Then he took off for the hills.
Very well, we'll send out a search party.
Thank you.
Then they begin.
Hard as shit.
You get the first glimpse at the bizarreness that will be the Life Day Festival.
Oh yeah.
Because they're still in the house at this point. They like walk back to the entertainment center
yeah.
or something, pick up
Han
some
says,
like.
enjoy the holiday, and I'll see you later, and he leaves.
Well, Art Carney. It's Art Carney who's there at that
No,
point.
Han Solo leaves too.
Yeah, Han leaves too.
There's
Yeah.
just the Wookiees together in the living room.
Well, they go pull some. I don't know what the hell they are. They look like
Glowing
snow globes with lights in them or something.
Yeah, it looks like a little
Yeah, they like
glowing
light up.
egg.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, it gets really dark in the room, and there's this bizarre lighting effect that looks like they're shining a spotlight through like a well or something. It's like,
Yeah.
and then they're holding the lights in the air, like, oh.
Yeah. And
They
then
go to
it fades out of that, it's a real quick transition though. It's not like a fade. It's weird, but it immediately transitions from that to all of them in red robes
At the Great Tree of Life.
at the great. Yeah. But
it's more bizarreness because it looks like
they're walking.
They're walking through outer space, is what it
Outer
looks
space.
like.
Yeah. But it's not just them. It's like all the Wookiees
Yeah, it's a bunch of Wookiees,
walking
right.
into a light.
Yep.
They're walking into a light.
Don't go to the light.
Purgatory. So they're going into the light, and then they wind up by the Tree of Life, and they're all gathering around. And for some reason, C-3PO and R2-D2 are on the fucking podium in front of the. They have a podium in front of the Tree of Life, by the way. This is weird. But okay.
As you would.
You build one for this ceremony every 3 years, fine. But these two droids are standing there waiting. Like, okay. And then Chewbacca goes up there. And when he gets up there, he like does his little to all the other Wookiees. That his family stays down there. They're all looking at him. And then you hear Chewie and fucking Luke Skywalker and Princess Leia and Han Solo come out from the side. Like, what? Okay, Han was there a few minutes ago. Where the fuck did you two come from?
Yeah, where'd you go?
This whole time you couldn't be bothered trying to find Chewbacca and Han Solo. Now you're here. Go ahead, Eric.
They wouldn't miss Life Day for the world. Isn't that the line they gave in The Mandalorian?
Yeah. I hope I get home for Life Day. You won't. But yeah, Luke Skywalker and Princess Leia make it, and they're all there.
Doesn't Leia sing a song at that point?
She does.
Yeah,
yes,
she does.
She sings. She makes a whole speech about how important Life Day is and how, which is apropos for today, where she's talking about how everyone should be coming together against evil and yada 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 and whatever. And then she starts to sing a song. That was Carrie Fisher's mandate for being in this thing.
She was going to sing?
She got to sing
a song. Yes. So she sings a song, and I listened to it last night. I've heard people say that it's too like the same tune of Star Wars, like one of the themes, but I don't remember it quite being like that. But maybe I'll have to go back and listen to it again because I hate myself. But I don't remember it quite being like that. But she's singing this whole, la, 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 la. It's almost like Peanuts, like na na na. But she sings this whole song, and through the whole thing, Eric, you got to cut it in. She's leaning on Chewbacca like that, right? She's like right under him, and you can tell Carrie Fisher's high as fuck. Leaning on him and snuggling on him.
To dream, to grow, to trust, to
If I'm not mistaken, and someone correct me if I'm wrong, but she was pretty open about her drug use at this point in her life, right?
Yeah.
So
I don't remember.
Yeah, there's a shot from Return of the Jedi when they're in the stolen Imperial ship where she's got her hand on Han's shoulder, and everyone always points out, like, look at her coke nail. Her pinky is like really long. But so yeah, she was freely. She never. Once again, God love her. She never made any secrets about anything she did. She was great, but she liked to party. So she sings this fucking song about Life Day and whatever, and yeah, she's like cuddling up to Chewbacca a lot. I think that look on Han's face says it all right there.
The Wikipedia entry says, finally at the end of the special, Carrie Fisher sings a song in celebration of Life Day to the tune of the Star Wars main theme by John Williams.
Right, yeah, and sure. Again, maybe they slowed it down or something. I don't know.
It's on Wikipedia. It has to be true.
Oh my god! And it goes on forever, as in everything else in the show did. And I guess after that, they all kind of like disperse.
Oh, they start walking away, and then they cut in a bunch of A New Hope footage, like little.
Yeah, because it zooms in on Chewie's face, and it's like him thinking about his adventures with these people. It was like him and the Falcon, and all this little shit he did in there.
Yeah,
and then it fades back into their eating area, and they're all around the table together, and they like hold hands and put their heads down, and then that's it. It's the end of the fucking thing. Like they're sitting there praying or whatever they do, and then they cut it out. Easily one of the weirdest things I've ever fucking watched in my life.
Yeah, it's super strange. And I didn't see this originally. I didn't see this until long after it came out. So I feel like that made it worse for me. It might have been somewhat bearable had I seen it right after A New Hope or something. But
Right.
God, it's terrible.
So again on the Wikipedia entry, Harrison Ford claims to never have seen it. 2018, Mark Hamill admitted to not having seen it, to seeing the entire thing.
Couple questions, or well, statements, questions, whatever. Have you guys heard that Favreau wants to do a reboot of it?
No, I haven't heard that.
Yeah, he was pushing Kathleen Kennedy for it, like he wanted to do a new one.
Oh gosh.
So I submit this to you guys and see if you can come up with anything off the top of your head. If he does it, or if you could just like wipe this thing from memory and you just do a Star Wars holiday special, right? Or specials, what do you do? Forget everything that happened in this thing. What would you make?
I guess if it's going to be Favreau, he might as well build off some of what he's done. I mean, you could start it with the blue mithril guy that he put in Carbonite, right? Like finally getting out and he's heading back home. Finally make that Life Day thing, Life Day event or
30
whatever.
fucking years later, his kids are all grown up.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, his family's moved on. It's like what's the name of the Tom Hanks movie where he's on the island for so long?
Castaway.
Castaway, yeah.
It's like the end of that when he comes back and like his wife had moved on and she was like, "We had a funeral for you, and now I have this new family."
That'd be great.
Yeah.
What if you do like a bunch of different ones, but do them like in the same vein as like classic Christmas movies, you know, like Jabba the Hutt, but he's like the Grinch, you know. I don't know. I think you can have a lot of fun with it. It could be better.
You could do it like pick a holiday. Like let's say Life Day is we agree that Life Day is going to be the holiday, but like different races have different Life Day traditions, right? And so some of them you have to get a gift, and so they're going to get like, you know, whatever the equivalent is of the toy you can't get at Christmas for Life Day.
Right,
like
right.
Some species are trying to get that thing, and like
jingle fighting at a mall.
Yeah,
fighting at a mall like
right.
Black Friday.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
Listen, I am certain that if Favreau does it, it's not going to be a shit show.
Right.
I'm sure it'll work, and it won't also be a made-for-TV variety show either. I'm sure it'll be something that's done on Disney Plus with a fairly large budget from Disney or Lucasfilm.
Although just to be awesome, there should be like somehow to work in a song and like a very short comedy sketch. Like he would be, if he could do those things, he'd be the master.
Well, he works in a comedy sketch in almost every Mandalorian, so I'm sure he would do it anyway.
Oh yeah, something would be in there. You would definitely have callbacks to shit you saw in here.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's something I don't know what, but you'd have a callback to it, like the scene of their house that's a serious, like a painting, is like hanging up in the Falcon somewhere. It's actually the painting. I think we've beaten this already dead horse to death some more. What do you think?
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah. Definitely a shit show, but definitely worth talking about. As horrible as it is, I love this thing.
It's kind of worth seeing just, to share the pain, right? You have to spread that pain amongst all Star Wars fans. But there are times where you're uncomfortable while you're like, oh, this is making me uncomfortable.
Most of it's with Itchy, but you know. Yeah. There's a reason his name is Itchy. He's got an itch, he's got a scratch.
That's right.
Oh shit. All right, fine. I think we're done with this thing. So please go to YouTube, type in Star Wars the Holiday Special, Star Wars Holiday Special, and just look for the one from Ohio. It's like an hour and a half.
I'll link it on this post.
Okay, there you go. We'll link it. Please go watch this thing.
Yeah.
And then
comment on the parts you find truly cringy and awful.
So yeah, all right. So outside of that, dude, everybody go, like, subscribe, ring the bell. Ring it for Life Day. Hit us up at whatifgeeks.com, whatifgeeks@gmail.com, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Let us know what you think of this shit show and what the next how the fuck did this get made should be. That's it. Thank you for watching. Good night, Tony.
Good night, Gormanda.
Good night, Diana Carroll.